You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
As a chef, I know flavor doesn't begin in the kitchen. It begins on the land. And Westhome's nature-led Australian Wagyu is a story written in the landscape of Northern Australia. Cooking is storytelling, and Westhome Wagyu carries a story of Northern Australia itself. Raw, powerful, and deeply authentic. It's a testament to the passion and care raised in the rhythm of Northern Australia. I'm Chef Maylin from 88 Club in Los Angeles, and I invite you to visit westhome.com/Maylin to learn more. And taste a story only Westhome nature-led Australian Wagyu can tell. That's westhome.com/MEILIN.
It's Monday morning, and good news here in the basement. Doug is home from the knitting festival, which he goes to every year. Did you knit something nice for us? Did you give us mittens?
Super Bowl of knitting.
Mittens.
No. I drive. I am a designated driver just to transport the wife back and forth to Rhinebeck, New York each year for the Super Bowl of knitting, as I call it. Just keeping her safe.
Well, guess what we do at the beginning of every Monday show? We have the Super Bowl of intros where we all raise our mugs and say this on behalf of the men and women making podcasts in Mom's Basement and the men and women at Navy Federal Credit Union who serve our troops that kept us safe all weekend while Doug was transporting the crazy knitting mob, the knitting mafia, taking them from place to place.
It's totally a mafia.
Thank you for keeping them safe.
Thanks, everybody.
Cheers.
Let's go stack some Benjamins.
Oh, it's Monday, baby! It is Monday! Start of the new week. It's raining outside, it's cold, it's gloomy. There's every reason to not be excited. But guess what, baby? We are excited. We're motivated. We're dangerous and disciplined. We have a new week in front of us. A new week to chase after every dream we want. A new week!
Live from Joe's mom's basement, it's the Stacking Benjamin Show. I'm Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug, and what ghoulish tricks do we have up our sleeve today? Frightful ones, of course. On today's show, we hear this year's version of the greatest Halloween game ever played with the one and only Chuck Jaffe. In our headline segment, your ghoulishly haunted money stories. What items have gone bump in the night with your wallet? You'll find out. All of this and more. And speaking of terrifyingly funny, of course, then I'll share some hella crazy trivia. And now, two guys who are scary because they look like those nasty neighbors from the HOA. It's Joe and O-G.
That is the most frightening Halloween costume. We're here from the HOA, OG. We're just here to help.
We'd like to talk to you about your mailbox.
Yeah, if we could talk to you about your lighting outside of your house, that would be great. We got a great show today. You know it's going to be exciting Stacking Benjamin show. We got 3 bleeps in the first 25 seconds. What OG said he was going to do a cold open for us, Doug, I had no idea that was coming.
That was a bucket of cold on my face.
Talk about wake us up.
I got a whole week. Tune in Wednesday for Wednesdays.
Wow, holy cow.
Somebody found the internet again.
And it's going to be fun for OG for like the next 27 seconds. It's going to be really fun. And then he's going to turn it back off. Go, what the heck was I doing? We got a great show today, as Doug so succinctly explained. We got the Chuck Jaffe here, OG, and that means that we are going to have some fun with Halloween like we do every year. You're getting ready to have some fun with Halloween, aren't you?
Yeah, we are presently in the mouse house right now. going to go to the not so scary Halloween party tomorrow.
It's super scary for you, though. I mean, let's be real.
All the villains are out. Have you ever been?
No, I've never have been, but I've heard it's fantastic.
It's insanely fantastic. All the villains, that's the only time you can see them, is at the Halloween party.
I've heard getting the Queen of Hearts, I think her autograph in your autograph book is one of the few autographs that actually the uber geeks at Disney will pay for. They want that. Doug wants that. Look at Doug. Doug is so excited.
So forlorn that he just remembered that he's missing that one.
Oh, we got a super show. We got a super week. We're doing all things Halloween all week long, and we're going to kick it off with the Chuck Jaffe. Chuck, back in the 1990s, back when I was a financial planner, gather around, kids, and I'll tell you stories about the old days. But one thing I used to do was I read Chuck Jaffe's columns religiously, and I would clip them out. And when my clients wondered about long-term care and how to approach it or whatever, and they wanted a third party, Chuck Jaffe, always the voice of reason. Of course, now he's the host of the Money Life with Chuck Jaffe show, but he's even better known as the guy who every single Halloween season comes down to the basement to explain this cool game he plays in his neighborhood. He turns Halloween into a fun economic game, and you can too. And we're going to talk to him about this year's iteration of the game. So that's what's on tap. That, and we asked all of you stackers about your money horror stories. We're going to hear those today. So sit back and relax and get ready for some ghoulishly fun money nerdery. But first, we got a couple of sponsors to make sure we can keep on keeping on so that you don't have to pay a dime for any of this Halloween flavor goodness. We're going to hear from them. And then Chuck Jaffe joins us here in Mom's Basement. You may not know that when we started Stacking Benjamins, it was a blog. And even then, just the startup cost, I remember thinking, is this the right thing? And what if I write things and nobody comes, right? Well, luckily, that didn't end up happening. But starting something new isn't just hard. It's terrifying. There's so much work. You're not sure whether it's going to work out. You're not sure if anybody's going to read it. And then we changed it to a podcast. Is anybody actually going to listen, right? What if nobody wants all the stuff that we have? Well, had I used Shopify, it would have been even easier because with their expertise, their helpful tools, and their easy-to-use platform, that's something that would have made Stacking Benjamins more effective much, much more quickly. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. Names you've heard of like Heinz and Mattel, Shopify, Gymshark, Aviator Nation, Allbirds, also all Shopify. Get started with your own design studio with hundreds of ready-to-use templates. Shopify helps you build a beautiful online store that matches your brand style. And best yet, Shopify is your commerce expert with world-class expertise in everything from managing inventory to international shipping to processing returns and beyond. And did I mention that iconic purple Shop Pay button? It's used by millions of businesses around the world. It's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. It also helps boost conversions, meaning less carts going abandoned and more sales for you. So you're stacking Benjamins much more quickly. Time to turn those what ifs into with Shopify today. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/SB. Go to shopify.com/SB. That's shopify.com/SB.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
And it wouldn't be Halloween week, wouldn't be able to kick off the week without this gentleman who comes, by the way, every year dressed up is like a semi-cynical journalist type podcasting guy. Been around the block. Chuck Jaffe's back. How are you, man?
I'm great. Trick or treat, Joe.
That is a scary, scary uniform you bring down here every year, my friend.
You know, my favorite Halloween costume always involved things with a box I when I was a kid, it was always like, can I do something that I got to wear a box and make a box into a costume? And I am a huge believer, and I have it ready at the drop of a hat, that an ATM machine makes a fabulous, fabulous costume. I'm ready.
It could be ATM machine that's out of order. Like, it just seems like every time now that I need an ATM machine, which is never, I always find the one that's not in order. And maybe it's because fewer people want ATM machines, but that's a whole different thing. Let's focus on this year's edition of your amazing game that you play at Halloween. For people that, well, everybody knows Chuck, because as you were coming down the stairs, you heard us talk about the game and about how you come here every year to celebrate Halloween with us. But I guess I want to ask you this. As you play the game with kids year after year after year, do you find that the average kid who comes to play your game, instead of just getting Halloween candy, are they generally good at it? Are they bad at it? Like, what do you really like about the decision-making that you see in front of you?
Well, I think what you have to recognize is they are as good at it as they put the time and effort in to do it. If what they want to do is move on, then they will make whatever choice is impulsive. If what they want to do is figure out how to get a win, and they want to decide what that win would be, they become great consumers. And it's an important lesson, because I think that's how we are. We all know people, like my wife will tell you, she doesn't really care about money. She needs it, she wants it, etc. But it has never been like, she's not the one who's going to go, oh, let me figure out the best way to save this way. She'll use a coupon if it's handy, but she won't spend any time looking for it or what have you. So we know adults are the same way, that some have a real interest in this and try to make it work and others don't. And kids, it's almost ingrained in them from the beginning, because you will see the kids who are like, yeah, I've been here before. Just give me a candy bar. Just give me a buck or whatever. And you get the other ones who really want to dig in and figure it out. And none of them are wrong, but you do kind of hope, and maybe I'll get it if I live here long enough, because I've been doing this now for 10 years, that you'll see some of those things play out. But again, I've had great conversations with kids about risk. I have kids who really want to understand what's done. I've had kids who have won big, who come back the next year and are like, I won big. The odds of me doing that twice are so slim, I'll take a different choice.
They're already counting a reversion to the mean.
Exactly, which is really interesting when you think you're so far ahead. Why wouldn't you just take another chance? Yet that's how they come wired. So some of it is how they're wired. Some of it is, they're dressed in costume and they're going out. What they do like is that this is different. And that's why I'll tell everyone, you can do this at home. And my joke is always for the people who go, I only get a few people for Halloween. Let me explain. If you only get a few people for Halloween, there's an easy way to do this. Go buy full-sized versions of your favorite candy or your spouse's favorite candy. Then take a couple of envelopes. However many candy bars you have, take that many envelopes, put $1 in each envelope and $5 in one envelope. And when the kids come, offer them the choice, cash or candy, and see what they take. Because what you're going to be left with is A, your favorite candy bar or your spouse's favorite candy. So there's nothing wrong with that. And B, you gave out full-size candy bars or money, which encourages them to come back. And we'd all like more trick-or-treaters on Halloween.
I know the waistline, your dentist might not agree, Chuck.
If for those who get way too much candy, or if you don't do this for yourself, candy is currency on Halloween. So if you don't do like, I'm going to give out cash or candy the way I do, come back the other way. I always tell the story of my two kids. I had one daughter who only liked plain chocolate, and the other was a garbage can. She would eat anything. And the result is, when they first get home, they'd lay out their candy, and the one who only ate chocolate would trade whatever she had, kind of straight up. Oh, I'll give you one of these for this. But then she'd get to where her sister only had like 3 plain chocolate bars left. And her sister put the screws to her. Her sister was like, no, you want my last 3 plain chocolate bars? I'll take pretty much everything else you've got.
Are you saying the tariffs got pretty high?
Yeah, exactly. But it teaches them economic value. There is a real thing in all of this, that the lessons are real and they're being learned in other ways. But if you feel that you got, gee, I didn't get a fair deal. Why didn't I get a fair deal? Well, it's because I wasn't willing to compromise here. those are negotiating skills that someday are going to be something that helps you with a car or with a job or whatever. And you might as well learn them on the easiest currency you're ever going to get. So I love Halloween as a teaching tool beyond all of the things that make me love Halloween.
I got one more thing, Chuck, before we get into this year's version of the game, which I can't wait to hear. It's one of the most exciting things I do every year is hear about the new game. Like, I'm just so excited. But before we do that, you haven't incorporated this into the game yet, but you talk about your one daughter who loves the chocolate bar, and so the other daughter makes her pay. There is a chocolate bar that kids like more than any other, you told me, which I did not find surprising because this is a good candy bar, but you haven't incorporated it in the game yet either.
Well, one of the changes we made a couple years ago, and for anybody who's hearing this for the first time, I started this about 10 years ago. And basically, once I got to where it was a little more cooked out, I then took it my way and went extreme with it. But every year it changes. And if I lived in a perfect world, I'd do it. And then I'd give my neighbor last year's version and they'd do that. And it would just keep going. Because then you could have real, I mean, trust me, I've talked to award-winning behavioral finance economists on how valuable this skill set is and the information that we get is. But last year, well, I think it was 2 years ago, I switched to where it was a full-size candy bar. So for years, It was only, you came to my house, your return on investment was 3 fun-size pieces of candy.
I call them frustrating size, Chuck, not fun size, frustrating size.
Okay. But they were at least, they weren't the really tiny ones.
Right, yeah.
Right? And so you get 3 of those. And I ultimately changed it to a full-size candy bar. Now, a full-size candy bar has a retail value of $1.69. But I'm cheap and I'm getting them for about 75 cents each on a sale. So truthfully, I'm not spending any more money. And by the way, this only applies to kids 3rd grade and up. Younger kids just get 3 full fun size candy bars or frustrating size candy bars and off they go. When I first changed, I did full size candy bars. I bought whatever was on sale. Well, last year, what was on sale was Nestle's Crunch Bars. It was Nestle's Crunch Bars and Hershey Bars was what I had. And we ran out of Crunch Bars. And normally, the full-size candy bar, since we went to it, was not a big attraction the year before. But with the Crunch Bars, every Crunch Bar went.
I love Crunch Bars so much.
Yeah. And again, so you need to understand that the base case for a kid 3rd grade and up when they come to my house is now you can have a full-size candy bar or you can have a dollar bill. Now, again, candy on Halloween is cheap. Even if it's a full-size candy bar, my neighbors probably gave you a couple of other pieces that have as much weight to them. So candy is cheap, and you'd be better off taking the full-size candy bar. It's a retail value of $1.59, or 69, even though I only paid 75 cents for it. The retail value, $1.69. The retail value of the dollar, $1. So candy would actually be the better choice. And then we get into the wild stuff. And I will tell you that, yeah, I now believe that the candy that you pick matters. And it's not, I don't know whether that's Crunch Bars were not as prevalent among my neighbors or whether it's, plain candy bar, Hershey bar was boring. But whatever it is, the Crunch Bars last year, literally I had a couple of kids who, when the last Crunch Bar went, was like, well, I would have done that, but now I'm not going.
But there's no Crunch Bar.
Exactly. When the Crunch Bar was now just any other candy bar, they were like, no. Who knew?
It's an Almond Joy. Forget it. Okay, so the base trade you got to this year, like it was last year, I think, full-size candy bar or $1. But wait, there's more this year.
Yeah, well, there's more every year. And actually, I really liked what we did last year. So I'm not changing the other base trades. So this part is also what we did last year. Your choice, instead of taking the full-size candy bar or the dollar bill, was you could trade me 2 pieces of fun-size candy, though I will tell you, some of my neighbors are so cheap, it's not even the frustrating size. It's the
tiny.
Really? They're like, I know what your properties are worth, guys. You can spend more on candy. 2 pieces of candy, retail value somewhere between $0.25 and 33 cents, to pick an envelope that has between $0.25 and $8. Half the envelopes have 25 or 50 cents, but the average envelope was $1.60. That means that the expected value of this choice was $1.25, which is the average envelope minus the cost of the candy you traded. So again, if your choice was $1 or $1.69 of candy in a candy bar, or $1.25 by trading me some candy and getting some cash and hoping it'll be worth more than $1. Or you could play the lottery. You would trade me 5 pieces of candy to pick from 25 envelopes. There's a $25 jackpot, but just one envelope that has the money in it. So the average per envelope, $1. That's the same dollar you could have gotten by just taking $1. But now you've traded me 5 pieces of candy. That's more than $1 worth of candy. So your expected value is negative. And oh, by the way, lots of kids go home with nothing. Now you want the twist, Joe? Because this year, we have always said, don't open the envelopes around us. We don't want to know. Because in part, I have to tell the next kid, and if I know that the jackpot's been given out, which I did one year because a kid won, they got to the edge of my property, they opened it, they start jumping up and down, and they're thanking me because they had won the big jackpot. I still have all the other kids coming, and I want this to be an experiment, and I want them to learn the lessons, but I don't want to feel like a monster on Halloween. Right. I took your candy and I gave you nothing. You're going home
empty-handed.
And I knew you would get nothing, right? Like, that's the worst. But this year, if you want, you can open those envelopes in the big lottery option in front of us. And if you lose, we'll give you a second chance lottery. The second chance lottery, you're going to give us 5 more pieces of candy, but because it's the second chance, the jackpot is only worth $20. So you're actually spending the same amount of money for even less of a reward, which we hope will give you did you have twice as much fun? Because if you didn't have twice as much fun, there's a valuable lesson there, which is, although I've never bought a lottery ticket myself, I understand it. And I think there's real value in playing what if games around the lottery. I think that is a wonderful thing that you can do when the lottery jackpot gets big. Have a conversation, even if you're not in it, about what you would do and how you would prioritize things. And then cut it down. Go, oh, I didn't win $1 billion. What would happen if I won $1 million? What would happen if I won 100,000? What would happen if I won 10,000? Because a $10,000 windfall is very reasonable in a lot of people's lives. How would you prioritize what you're doing? So I don't mind lotteries, but the idea that like, oh, I bought 10 tickets. Did you get 10 times the enjoyment? Did you get 10 times the what if value? No, you pretty much didn't. So the result of that is I'm hoping we're going to teach that lesson, but I don't know, because it might teach them, hey, gamble, take another chance, even though it's a stupid chance. and maybe you can come out somehow ahead.
But the math lesson here too, which I like, because I think for kids, they might not get that I spent double the amount of candy, which means that the prize is worth less. But also by diminishing the prize level, I think it drives that part home. Every dollar you throw in this, the price is worth less money.
That's correct. So that's my twist for this year is second chance lottery, which means I'm taking more candy from babies.
But only the ones that say that they want to play. Now, and by the way, to set this up too, everybody, if you're brand new to this segment of the show, we should go back to some basics here, Chuck. You also have a piece of paper that you send them home with that kind of explains things, so parents can be on board with it. And this is great, Stackers. If you're going to do this, if you're going to emulate Chuck's game here, this piece of paper, I think, helps drive it home.
And in fact, the piece of paper is essential for 2 reasons. One is that, yes, you hope when the kids would take it home that they will find it, and they get it even if they're making the small trade. You get the small envelope, et cetera. Because every envelope, the good thing about the paper is the paper helps make it more difficult for a kid to figure out what's in the envelope. As they're looking for, is the envelope bigger? Trust me, kids will game any system you have, try to figure it all out, et cetera. And we've had to go to some great lengths to try to make sure that kids are, and mind you, the lengths we go to, every one of those envelopes that you're trading 2 pieces of candy for has a coin in it, right? But that coin is going to be a quarter, a $50, or a $1 coin. So the $8 jackpot is a $1 coin, a $5 bill, and a $2 bill. And that way, it isn't much bigger than something that has $3.50 in it, which is a $2 bill, a $1 bill, and a $0.50. And it doesn't feel that much different from something that has a $1 coin in it. That's what we're trying to do to make it that if somebody's touching them, they don't quite know, they can't figure it out, etc. So yeah, we have to do some of those things. And the second chance lottery will have a bigger piece of paper in it, which will have that much more of an explanation of what happens if you played the second chance. And the second chance you cannot open in front of us. You're going to take it and go.
And you're gone. So you don't know that one.
We did have kids last year who gaslighted us into thinking that they had won the jackpot. They literally went away from us. We heard them celebrating when they came back, because I live on a cul-de-sac. So they passed me coming in and then they walked by on the way out. When they walked by on the way out, they were like celebrating. We thought it had been won. And then we opened up the envelopes and nope, we still had our money.
What's interesting is I love the risk reward continuum here, Chuck. Clearly, the trade that is the safest trade is still the dollar or the candy bar, right? I mean, either side of that trade is still, I'm coming home with something. So I'm good either way there, no matter what I do. Although you look at the currency of the candy being worth more monetarily, but on this particular day, I have a whole damn bag of that. And I don't have a ready market to move that into money. So for that reason, the dollar bill might resonate more. So there's that on the safety end, but on the lottery end, you've got a whole different, thing going on. I'm wondering proportionally last year, what proportion of the kids, because in all of these, you're playing with house money, right? You truly, they're risking nothing different than when we're investing. How many kids go crazy and do the lottery versus the kids that decide they want the safe bet? How does that work out proportionally?
Well, it does change a little bit by year, because I've done things where the lottery was a better proposition. I've done things where the lottery is a worse proposition. I like that it's now $1, is the average envelope. So it kind of works out that way. It still is the biggest choice because, and it makes sense that it would be, not entirely from a risk perspective, but again, because the candy as currency is cheap to them, and the chance that they could win $25, which does, especially as the kids get up to 5th, 6th, 7th grade, it starts to mean more to them. Like they recognize that like winning $25 would be a big deal.
So that coupled with the novelty factor of, hey, I'm not getting this at every other house. The Jaffe house is the party house.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, the kids know what's coming. The kids who have been in the neighborhood know what's coming. And we live in a neighborhood that there's no through streets. Like you come in off of the main drag and everything ends in a cul-de-sac. And by the way, with Halloween being on a Friday night this year, I am super excited because it'll be great. And my cul-de-sac, pretty much everybody does the nines. Like they're all the way dressed up. There's all kinds of lights and moving whatever and all these other sorts of things. So it's a lot of fun.
It's funny. We're having some work done at our house. And so I'm in this Airbnb duplex right now, but it's on this street that's known for big time Halloween. And Cheryl's like, do you want to do this? I'm like, it's our 1 year that we get to do a huge Halloween party. Like, let's take part in it. It's going to be fun. So I don't know. It's an opportunity for me. I love the Nestle Crunch, but the Kit Kat is where it's at. I got to say, Kit Kat.
The answer is only, are you going to spend up for that? I think, like I said, for the people who don't get a lot of trick-or-treaters, the right way to do it, rather than buying the frustrating size, buy the full-size bars, and then, you can offer the cash as an option.
That's what we do generally, is the full-size bars. I haven't done the game. I need to do the game. This year, with all the craziness in my life, I probably won't do the game, but I need to do the game. I think the game is as much fun for me as it clearly is for the kids. I think it's as fun for you as it is for the kids. So I got to get down with the game. This year, though, I expect to have, based on hanging out with people that have lived in this area, trick-or-treaters in the hundreds of trick-or-treaters. So I doubt I'm doing full-size candy bars.
Yeah, people have asked me about the money. And look, I do spend a little bit more. It's also because I write about it, I talk about it, et cetera. It's a tax deduction for me if I really want to take it, which is just kind of wild when you think about that too.
Does any of that tax deduction accidentally end up in your stomach? Accidentally, oops, I can't believe it.
Well,
I accidentally.
I don't know that I'm allowed to feed them candy that I haven't tested myself.
I think that's fair. You can't have that stuff going out willy-nilly.
And once Halloween is over, I mean, it might be that candy gets thrown out. That's a possibility. And at least in terms of the IRS, I'm not keeping it for a full year because then it wouldn't be good the following year. So whatever does not get used for Halloween is still a tax deduction.
Fair point. No, it still is part of the office. As you're doing the Money Life show, you have to keep the sugar level up. I mean, it's #science, Chuck.
But I really do encourage this. And like I said, if you don't do this or you're out with your kids, again, if you're going to take a little bit of your kids' candy, as much as it's a joke or whatever, do it with something. If your kids come back with sacks of candy, there are charities you can donate it to. You can send it to places like orthodontists, collect it and send it to the troops, things along those lines. You know what? It's a really good thing to do. And then put the money lesson in with, hey, we'd like to donate this. So which ones, I will give you value for some of your candy. It's not a bad lesson to teach. You can get by with some candy. You don't need all of this candy. Place a value on which ones you like the most. You don't want to give those up. Place a value on those you like the least. I'd be perfectly happy if everybody took my whatever it is, because I'm not going to eat them anyway. Great. What kind of value can you get? And maybe that value, again, is just in giving it away. This has no value to you, but let's give it away and teach that kind of frugality where, translate it to being an adult and you're on a buy nothing group on a Facebook page going, hey, I don't need this motor oil that I found, and somebody else is saving a couple of bucks, and you're just being a good citizen and a good neighbor.
Not only will you hear, Stackers, the results of what happened after Halloween on the Money Life show with Chuck Jaffe, but there's a festival going on, I swear, every day on the Money Life show. What's coming up, Chuck? Besides, after Halloween, we're going to hear the results of the game.
We have a segment on the show that we call the Money Life Market Call, where we talk with money managers about how they do their job, what they're picking, et cetera. And we don't talk politics on my show, but we do have one coming where we are talking to somebody who runs the MAGA fund and somebody who runs the Dems fund on like day after each other. And the interesting thing is just about the methodology. And what you're going to find out is that the methodologies are very similar. It's just, you're sort of looking at research and in one case going, okay, I'll lean left or I'll lean right. That's an interesting one that's coming. We've got some great guests. Rob Arnott from Research Affiliates has done a tremendous amount of research about how maybe the indexes we have are not truly reflective of everything that's going on. We talked with him about that. All kinds of things. Oh, and Richard Thaler has a new book out. The Nobel Prize winning behavioral economist has a new book out with Alex Imus, and we'll be talking about that on the show. Every day there's something great to talk about.
Yeah, I wish there was something going on. If only you had something going on, Chuck, it would be perfect.
Yes, but for you, Joe, I am
the Halloween Money Monster.
Hey there, Stackers. I'm Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug, and here's a Halloween week birthday for you. Way back in 1958, Simon Le Bon, lead singer of the classic 80s band Duran Duran, was born. Duran Duran, of course, is known for their hit Hungry Like the Wolf and other finger tappers. Sometimes I tap my fingers really hard to that song, more like finger bangers, actually. Sometimes I try to tap my fingers to the music on OG's back, just banging OG. I love rhythm. Joe's mom told me once that my rhythm is so good I should take it out and twerk in the streets. But what she really said was, get that dancing out of my house. So we all know what she was insinuating, don't we? It's fun to dance on the speed bump. I got those legs moving all crazy like Michael Jackson's Thriller video out in that hump. I went from finger banging to humping. Something I thought was cool, but apparently the Texarkana cops didn't feel as passionate about. But enough about me. Since we're talking Hungry Like the Wolf, let's talk about wolves who have a close tie with Halloween. Serial killer Peter Stump, there's two P's on that, Peter Stump was executed in 1589 after being accused of being what type of wolf, spawning a whole genre of classic horror. I'll be back right after I figure out if twerking really is a, quote, crime against humanity, as Sergeant Slatterly down at the police station said. I object, Slatterly!
You didn't start a business just to keep the lights on. You're here to sell more today than yesterday. You're here to win. Lucky for you, Shopify built the best converting checkout on the planet. Like the just one tapping, ridiculously fast acting, sky-high sales stacking, champion of checkouts. That's the good stuff right there. So if your business is in it to win it, win with Shopify. Start your free trial today at shopify.com/win.
Did you know Fast Growing Trees is America's largest and most trusted online nursery with thousands of trees and plants and over 2 million happy customers? Whether you're planting fruit trees, adding privacy, brightening things up with flowers, or bringing in houseplants, Fast Growing Trees has it all. Even better, they can help you find options that are right for your climate, your space, and lifestyle. Click Order Grow. Every plant arrives healthy with the Alive and Thrive guarantee straight to your door. So if you're ready to get planting, this is the moment. Right now, they have great deals on spring planting essentials, up to half off on select plants. And listeners to our show get 20% off their first purchase when using the code WWO at checkout. That's an additional 20% off. Better plants and better growing at fastgrowingtrees.com using the code WWO at checkout. Fastgrowingtrees.com, code WWO. Now's the perfect time to plant. Let's grow together. Use WWO to save today. Offer is valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions apply. Go to growingfasttrees.com for details.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey there, stackers! I'm Halloween twerker and guy who's apparently gonna have to go back to just finger banging his favorite songs, Joe's mom's neighbor Doug. To celebrate Simon LeBon from Duran Duran's birthday today and the fact that we're kicking off Halloween week, we're talking wolves. And one in particular, Peter Stump, was accused of being a type of wolf associated with Halloween and suffered the death penalty for it. What type of wolf was it? Well, if you said werewolf, oh, no, I see what that's werewolf. I got it. If you said werewolf, you might have just answered my easiest trivia question of the year. And speaking of easy, but definitely not on the eyes, back to Joe and OG.
Hi, I'm David Stein. When I'm not talking to other people about money on Money for the Rest of Us, I'm stacking Benjamins.
Werewolves in the news. Simon LeBon, you're a big Duran Duran fan, aren't you, OG?
Yeah, yes, of course.
I think you gotta be. Doug, you are.
I mean, at the time I wasn't, actually, no. They were a little too poppy for me at the time, but I have come to appreciate their music.
I actually like the music they made in the 1990s, like Come Undone. You know, the later songs after everybody thought they were washed up and no.
Because they were?
They weren't. That song might have sold more copies than any song but Hungry Like the Wolf.
Wow.
It's good stuff. Speaking of good stuff, thanks again to Chuck Jaffe. OG, at your house, what game do you play at Trick or Treat Day?
My favorite game to play after Halloween, although to be fair, the boys are well past trick-or-treating now. It's just Caroline. But when they were younger, we played the game of let's see how taxes affect your candy consumption. And it's like, well, here's your money candy, and here's the tax man's candy. The tax guy always gets first dibs of all the good stuff, like the full-size Reese's and the full-size Milky Ways and all the good candy. And then you get what's left over. That's the game that I play.
We used to always play what it would be like living in a high taxation state.
Yeah, so same thing. 3 for the tax man, 1 for the...
Welcome to New York, kids. We have peanut allergies in our house. My kids had peanut allergies, so we had a little different. It wasn't taxation, but it was just extra cautious parenting, when I would grab a Starburst out of their bag or something like, Twizzlers.
Just to double check. Make sure it's clean.
Yeah, Dad, there's no peanuts in there, but it was sitting next to the Snickers bar, Finn. So
cross-contamination. That is a thing.
Yes.
You can't
be too safe.
You don't know what could have happened at the Kroger before you picked it
I'm
up.
going to test this one, and if it's, then you can have the rest of them.
Smart move. Smart parenting, Doug.
Good parenting. That's all it is.
We had some stackers who sent in their Halloween alicious stories. And man, they brought them today. We've got 4 of your biggest money horror stories, and Doug's going to do dramatic readings for us. And I think our first
dramatic.
Do you need a second to get into character, Doug? Okay, what's my motivation?
Yes.
But our first one comes to us from Luis.
He wrote a little novelette, didn't he?
Oh, this is scary.
Okay. Here we go, Luis. I used to tell myself I had plenty of time. Retirement felt like some distant chapter, something I'd worry about once I had more money. So I waited and waited. A few missed contributions didn't seem like a big deal. A vacation here, a new phone there. I told myself, I'll start next year. But now as I approach my 40s, I can feel it. The years that have slipped away. And lately I've been having these dreams. Soft, eerie piano fades in. In them, I'm back in my 20s, sitting at my laptop. The words Open Roth IRA glow on the screen, but every time I reach to click it, my hand, it freezes. And I hear it. That song, that incessant song. Cue eerie children's chant echoing like a nightmare. 1, 2, Freddy's timing you. 3, 4, you're saving no more. 5, 6, your budget won't stick. 7, 8, your nest egg's too late. 9, 10, he's here again. Metal scrape, Freddy's glove dragging across steel. That's when I see him, Freddy a Krueger. He doesn't chase, he collects. Every bad decision I make accrues to him. Every year I didn't invest, he took what I didn't earn. Every raise I didn't save, he stored away for himself. Every I'll start next year, another deposit in his account. He doesn't need claws or fire, just silence. Inaction. Ticking grows louder, distorted, faint whispers of 1, 2 overlapping. I try to wake up, but the clock keeps ticking, and I swear, every time I close my eyes. Pause. Silence. Then the faint children's chant begins to creep back in. 1, 2, Freddy's timing you. 3, 4, you're saving no more. Freddy Krueger is back. Maybe my finest work. I mean, do we need any more to this episode?
Who needs Doug and the Three Ghosts this year? We don't need that. We got our new. Maybe we should produce this one, do the production, the sound effects. Nice job. By the way, nice job, Luis, on that one. Freddy Krueger. And by the way, in our basement Facebook group, he's got like this mix of Ben Franklin and Freddy Krueger. OG, like all mixed into one. So very scary. Very, very scary. The rest of these tales are a little more personal. Jennifer has one that, for all of you of a certain age, and remember the pain in the ass of changing your direct deposit, which I think has gotten significantly easier now. But Jennifer, Doug, take it away with Jennifer's tale of credit union woe.
Jennifer writes, I started a new job and decided to join their credit union. So I switched all my bank stuff to the credit union. It was a long time ago, so I don't think we had direct deposit. I deposited my boyfriend's paycheck, and it took like 2 weeks to cash, so I overdrew my brand new account. They froze everything, and it was a friggin' nightmare on my street.
Another Freddy Krueger reference. I think our stackers have a theme here.
It was a friggin' nightmare on my street. I like that.
I recently had to transfer a bunch of money from one account to another, and PayPal held it up for, I'm going to say 10 days, OG. Is that even legal? Is that?
Why would you use PayPal to transfer money from one account to another?
It was a long story. Long
Well,
story.
that's why then. because you use the most inefficient way of transferring money. Let me put it in this other thing.
It would have been a way better idea to just go Pony Express.
Just get hundies, man. That's the way to roll.
Just
stacks of cash.
Stacks and stacks of Benjamins. Let's move on to Cesar, who has, well, we all have gotten bad advice from coworkers before, but Cesar's might be.
I get bad advice from you idiots every week.
Yeah, Cesar's might be the worst.
At my first job in high school, I was taught a valuable financial hack by a coworker. She told me as soon as I get paid, I should immediately withdraw my entire paycheck and then fill up my gas tank with my empty bank account, since they would allow the overdraft. I'm still haunted to this day when wondering where this coworker has ended up in life.
I hate to admit this, but back in my terrible with money days, I remember OG playing the, that check's not going to clear for 3 days game.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a thing anymore, right? Kiting checks. No. It used to be. I mean, it was a whole game in and of itself.
I haven't heard that phrase in a long time.
Yeah, because it's not a thing. Because Check 21 screwed that all up and made checks come out right away. So
which is
the way it should be. Obviously, if you don't have the money, don't write a check. But you used to be able to like write a check on Thursday for groceries and be like, and I get paid on Friday though, so it'll be okay.
It'll be good.
It'll be fine. By the time all the dust settles, everything will work itself out.
And then for God knows what reason, it wouldn't be. And then
the reason was because people were doing, I will gladly pay you for 2 cheeseburgers tomorrow for 1 cheeseburger today. That's why.
No, I'm saying I would go on Thursday. No, it's going to be good. It'll be fine. And then that check for God knows what reason then would bounce.
Then
and then the next one would bounce. Then the next one bounce.
Because you forgot the checks Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday that you also wrote.
Yes.
Write them down in your little check register. Remember
and
those?
That $30 overdraft fee would trigger another bounce that I hadn't expected. And
it was such an amazing experience.
It was living the ugly life back then. When I read Caesar's originally, and Doug, even now, while you're going through it, I just think about how many times have you seen all this bad advice from coworkers? People have brought into your office, OG or Doug, known bad advice from coworkers. I mean, the 401k loan. How many times have you had a coworker go, you're borrowing from yourself. Don't take a loan from the bank. What are you doing? Just borrow from yourself, OG. It's going to be great.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it is your money. And if you need to have it for some reason, you can have it. But the least efficient place is going to be to take it from your 401k. Maybe it's a smidge more efficient than credit cards. But when you think about it, after you add the fact that you're paying back with after-tax money and you're paying an interest rate, albeit to yourself, and the fact that you're losing out on the potential growth of that money for that loan period, that adds up to be a lot of opportunity cost wasted, And I know it seems simple, like, well, I just take 50 grand out and I'm going to pay myself back over 5 years. That's, $800 a month and there'll be a little interest, but I'm paying the interest to myself. I take 50 out, I put back 55, but I'm the beneficiary of that 55. So that's a good deal. But you have to think through the other pieces of that, which are, that 50 is not in the market for 5 years as you're paying that loan back, or 10 if you borrow for the house. And then you're paying it back with after-tax money. So it's not really awesome. I think I'd probably rather you use that money than, how do we say it? Is it better to use that than to go into like credit card debt? Probably.
I don't know.
I would really want to know like what the problem is, and is there another way out?
Here's the problem I always saw when people would take a 401k loan versus the credit card debt. It's because they know that the credit card debt is ugly, so they avoid it. But then they get in the habit of borrowing against their retirement over and over and over because, this is, quote, so much better. Well, no.
It's like a home equity loan on your house. It sounds cool at first because it's your money. But then you just have a longer mortgage.
Right.
More debt.
And just keep digging into it.
Yeah.
There's another one that I don't see as much anymore, but I used to see all the time, which was, why would you let these mutual funds rip you off? You know that the company we work at, look at how this stock goes. just put all your money in the stock of the company that you work at. And because we work here, we can follow it all the time. I would get clients in my office all the time that were like, oh, I just follow our stock and I know when it's going up and I know when it's going to go down, and I do that. And then I would go do the homework for them just to prove that they were wasting so much time. And if they just bought an index fund, they would have done way better. It felt like they were doing great because they're, I don't know, standing with their hand on the trigger all the time. If you know what I mean.
Standing with your hand on the trigger.
We were all thinking it. You said it.
Sometimes the analogy doesn't flow off my tongue the way I'd
I like
hoped
it.
would.
I'm going to start using that one from now on. Well, you know, Bob, he was standing there with his hand on the trigger. Huh?
We got to pivot away from this very quickly. Stacker Annette has the last but not least story of money horror. I think we've all done this one where we come up with a brilliant scheme and it might not go the way you hoped it would have.
We've outsmarted ourselves. 7 days before our cross-country move, whoopah!
That's Washington to Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's not a sound effect in parentheses? Whoopah! Sorry. Annette moved from Washington to Pennsylvania, but I like whoopah better. We had a brilliant plan to save money, sell our small pickup, buy a bigger used truck and trailer on Facebook, haul, I don't even know what this accent is anymore, haul everything ourselves and sell it all when we arrived. A move with zero transport costs? Genius, right? The truck bought, the trailer ghosted, never showed. Scrambling, we rented the largest trailer available. Here's the chilling twist. Our original truck could have towed it. But nay, I added that. We limped to Pennsylvania, wallet bleeding from repairs, sold the truck for way less than expected. Our money-saving plan turned out to be the most expensive idea we'd ever had.
I want to get to the expensive idea, but do you think, OG, in the middle of her Academy Award-winning scenes, Natalie goes, I'm adding a little extra crying here.
A little flair.
I'm gonna ad lib a little bit. Like right in the middle of your favorite movie. I added that.
It's just a little bonus. I bring it to you.
What's the ballet one? Black Swan? Yeah. I added that extra tear. She just looks right at the camera. That extra tear. Not in the script. Brilliant. I just love how you got to stop and tell us all. I added that. Annette didn't write that.
I want you to know what's my brilliance and which brilliance is Annette's. The audience deserves to know.
I can't tell you how many times I've had a money-saving plan that went awry like this. I remember this one actually worked out fine. Our family was headed to Yellowstone, and we were going to make several stops along the way, so we decided to rent a car. When I looked at all the rental prices, it was way, way, way less expensive to go through Enterprise. And so I pull into Enterprise. I take all the stuff that we're taking on vacation, all the camping equipment, and I put it all out in our driveway. And then I go to Enterprise. I've Cheryl drop me off there on her way into work. She's going to work half a day while I get the car packed. I walk in and I'm signing all the stuff, and it says in the contract, you will not drive this car outside of Michigan, Indiana, or Ohio. And I'm going all the way to Yellowstone. It's the day of. So I signed the thing. And oh my goodness, talk about just a trip where every time my kids got anywhere near the car, like I parked way far away from everything else. And on the way back, I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to explain all this mileage? We went to Wyoming and Montana and back. So I came up with this crazy concocted story that I was helping my brother move to the Upper Peninsula, and I had to make 5 trips to the UP
to Houghton. He moved to Eagle Harbor.
Oh my God. It was the worst. It was the worst.
This logic reminds me basically of every power tool I've ever bought. Because you always say to yourself, oh, I need this great angle grinder or this chop saw because I'll save all this money on all the projects down the road. You do the one project and the thing sits there collecting dust.
It's like it's free, right? In your head. You're like, this is going to be free. What do they call it? Originally it was girl math and now it's power tool math.
Yeah, the guy math has been around a lot longer, I think. We just didn't put a name to it. I know guys who've done this with wood splitters. Oh, I'll just make my own firewood, so that's going to be cheaper. A cord of fire, depending on where you live. This is, but $100 max, 60 in some more rural areas.
Yeah, this guy Moses delivers it to me for not much money.
Sometimes they'll stack it for you. And the splitter's a couple of grand.
So I go help him. I don't get a discount, but I just don't like watching a dude stack my wood while I sit there standing next to him. But you're standing there with a cup of coffee while some dudes do manual labor.
Yes.
Yeah. This is great.
That's the worst.
I'm like, nope, not.
That looks heavy.
Not gonna. Yeah. Wow. Are you sweating? It'd be horrible. Thank you, Stackers, for contributing to our Halloween goodness. If you've got a tale of horror, please either call it in, StackyBenjamins.com/voicemail, or go join our Facebook group and tell us your tale of money horror. Good week to do that. Time for us to mosey out on the back porch. And we've had some good ones this week, Doug. This last week in October. Next week, the guides get updated. So we'll have all of that. StackyBenjamins.com/guides for everybody that owns the guides. The new updates are looking good. Can't wait to tell you about those, but we're going to wait. We always like to make them a surprise. But I guess, what are we leading off here with, Doug? Brian?
Stacker Brian left us this in the basement. He says, he is bringing ninja dad puns.
So ninja, Doug has no idea what this
No,
means.
I don't. I'm going to just read this. Because I know you love this, Joe. I'm going to read it, and we'll see, if anybody else can figure out the puzzle. He says, I'm going to make my Christmas decorations out of $100 bills. Then I'll have a wreath of Franklins. Just got it. I just got it.
You got to say it out loud.
I want to see if OG gets it.
Yeah, of course I got it.
Of course I got it.
Of course.
I'm just waiting to see if you get it. Then I'll have Aretha Franklin.
Aretha Franklin. So good. Brian wrote that, and it took me 10 minutes. And I noticed because I think a lot of people saw it and didn't get it, Brian. Like, I think Facebook showed it to maybe 150 people. It didn't show it to me till it had been there for 5 days, and it's our freaking basement, and it didn't show me. And I see this thing, and I'm like, what? Hold on. And then, oh, my God, when it hit, it hit. Nice job, Brian.
Then you finally gave it some RESPECT. See what I did there? All right, let's move on to Derek. Derek's submission. He says, hi, Joe. Just listened to your show today, how to deliver the wow, and wanted to reply to your after interview topic. Thank you for mentioning that if your 401k doesn't offer the Roth option so you can't catch up, you can always open a brokerage account. I get so annoyed with the baseline assumption that people can't save unless their employer provides X, Y, and Z for them. Come on, people, take some responsibility. And then Derek adds, I look forward to meeting you at 2026 in April.
I didn't know that was out yet, Doug, but I will be seeing Derek and others at the Millionaire Money Mentors 2026, April 23rd to the 26th in Florida. Be my first trip to the Villages, OG. I think you get to
last.
Get to a certain age, they start inviting you to the Villages.
And then slowly you're like, this place is awesome. Everybody's smoking dope all the time.
Is that what the Villages is known for? I don't know.
My God, yes.
Really?
Dude, the sex is off the hook in that place too, I've heard.
I don't know. Should I have said no to this deal? This is sounding...
I don't think you were prepared for the hedonism at the Villages.
When they invited me, it says it's designed to be family friendly, but that's maybe really friendly.
Right.
I don't know. It's going to be a lot of fun. But seriously, OG, how many times have we talked about this? And Derek, thanks for the kind words, but we always talk about these government programs. There's no need to wait for a government program to do the right thing in your financial plan. Just go do the thing. Don't go, well, but I can't save more because I'm saving the max that the government says I can save.
Yeah. I mean, if the government says the max that you can save is $23,500, but your plan says you need to save $25,000. If I were you, I'd save 25. I'd figure out where to put that other $1,500. Don't want to be broke.
It was interesting, Derek. clients would often, when I was an advisor, come into my office worried about the economy, the stuff happening with the Federal Reserve, things happening with the government, and they get off on all this stuff. And I'd open up the plan to the back and I'd say, okay, based on your plan, we need to be at X amount of money. Let's see if you're ahead or behind. And immediately when we took it away from what the Fed was doing, what the government was doing, and we looked instead at what you were doing and or not doing, all of a sudden we were dealing with stuff under our control. And it was such a better financial plan, such a better way to attack financial planning. Focus your time on the stuff that you can control. Good stuff.
Got one more, Joe.
Yeah,
Carrie Underwood actually sent us something on the Facebook. Carrie
big fan
Underwood,
of the show.
Big fan of the show. Carrie says, Joe, tells Uranus joke, my husband, what are you listening to? Me. This is where I get all our financial advice. It seems reasonable.
Fun fact about Carrie Underwood. You know, she does the Sunday Night Football commercial or like kind of lead in, whatever you want to call
the
that.
lead in, yeah.
There are 18 Sunday Night Football games. How much is her contract?
$18.
No.
Incorrect.
No, I actually think it's like 18 million because doesn't she sing a slightly different
$1 million
song?
a week.
Yeah.
You got it.
I've heard. I don't pay attention closely to it.
Put that little, it's the Lions and Tampa on Monday night or whatever, like that little
just
bit.
a little bit.
Just.
And that makes it a new song.
I don't know that I could stoop to doing $1 million an episode.
I know. I mean, it's just like, poor people talk. I got that. But I'm just saying. Could you imagine having to do this for only $1 million an episode?
God,
gross.
Thank you, Stackers, for all the fun this week. Thanks for lending us your ears. Coming up on Wednesday, we're going to talk about communication, whether it's with your roommate, your friends, your loved ones, your spouse. Doug and Heather Bonaparte are here. Doug Bonaparte of the Big Hair. Doug Bonaparte joining us in the basement. He's a certified financial planner in Manhattan, known for his wittisms that are on Twitter or X, I guess we call it. The kids all call it X these days now. Doug Bonaparte and Heather Bonaparte coming down to the basement to talk about the horrors of bad communication in your financial plan. That's on Wednesday, but we end this show every day the same, which is by, for some reason, we asked Doug, what are our big takeaways today?
If there's anybody who can take all of this knowledge and distill it down, it's me. So here we go, Joe. What should we have learned today? First, take some advice from Chuck Jaffe. Lean into your holidays. Every day is a great day to teach kids about money, but when you can combine a holiday and a money lesson, kids will be listening and ready to play along. Second, framing your financial picture as a horror story? Begin by working on your foundation. Emergency fund first, budget to create cash flow. See if you can earn more and set up automation. Soon, you'll be stacking those Benjamins tall. And look under the bed. But the big lesson? Don't try to joke with Sergeant Slattery of the Texarkana Police Department about Duran Duran. How's I supposed to know he had all the Simon Le Bon posters in his room? Every one of them. I'll bet that guy finger bangs all the Duran Duran songs. Thanks to Chuck Jaffe for sharing this year's Halloween money game. You'll find Chuck's Money Life with, wait for it, Chuck Jaffe, also wherever you're listening to us right now. What money games are you going to play at Halloween? Let us know. Drop us a line at the website or share on Spotify. We'd love to hear how you teach and celebrate. This show is the property of SB Podcasts, LLC, copyright 2025, and is created by Joe Saul-Sehy. Joe gets help from a few of our neighborhood friends. You'll find out about our awesome team at stackingbenjamins.com, along with the show notes and how you can find us on YouTube and all the usual social media spots. Come say hello. Oh yeah, and before I go, not only should you not take advice from these nerds, don't take advice from people you don't know. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Before making any financial decisions, speak with a real financial advisor. I'm Joe's mom's neighbor, Doug, and we'll see you next time back here at the Stacking Benjamin Show.
Welcome to the after show. Hey, I've got this piece from navigatorresearch.org. Which candy is America's favorite Halloween candy? Not the one that they give out the most or they eat the most of.
Snickers.
Snickers is number 2 on this list.
So you're saying this isn't data driven? This isn't like how much is purchased or?
No, they just ask people. They ask people what's their favorite.
Oh, yeah, that's different. Because I think the number 1 by data is Kit Kat.
Kit Kat is number 4, according to
Hershey bar.
people's Hershey bar. Didn't even make the top 10.
I think it's
no,
Reese's
wait a minute.
peanut butter cups.
Well, it says chocolate bars, so that would include Hershey, I suppose. So Snickers is 11%, Kit Kat at 8, chocolate bar 6, and Doug?
Reese's peanut butter cups.
29%.
Number 1?
Easily number 1. Number 2 was Snickers at 11.
I think Reese's has really figured out the
Reese's. The guy's name is Reese, and it's his.
It's Reese's.
Reese's.
God, you people are incorrigible. I'm going to go get more coffee. You can do this dumb to end the show.